Here with Dr. Jeff. Glad to have you with us, the Stem Cell Whisperer. We'd love to get a little understanding of who you are and why you do things. And so we're going to have a little conversation here with you. So where'd you grow up and what was that like?
Well, I'm from a small town in Ohio called Lima, halfway between Toledo and Dayton on the west side. We moved away from there during the energy crisis of 1979, 1980. And I finished out high school in Maryland, just outside of Washington, D.C. And, as a kid in Ohio, it was a great place to grow up. There was really not a whole lot of trouble to get into except being out late past dinner when your mom calls for you. But other than that, it was great, and then it was eye-opening to move to a big city and take advantage of the opportunities academically and all around us at the time. So I even though it was hard to move as a kid, right? You lose all your friends, and there was no Facebook or cell phones to keep in touch back then, but it was a good move.
Right. Yep. And I knew there was a reason why that was coming through. Those good Midwestern roots of Ohio.
Do you have
I
any siblings, Dr. Gross?
Yeah, I got a couple brothers. I'm the oldest, and as my wife will tell you, I have the behavior of a firstborn. Always try to make sure everything's taken care of and done and all that. Yeah, I got two brothers. They have families, so we're a bunch of us. Watch out.
Great.
Yeah.
So any family traditions that kind of came out of that?
Well, I tell you, being from Ohio, my grandparents and father went to the Ohio State University, so I'm a big Buckeye football fan, and that's it must be genetic because so are my brothers and our kids and my cousins. And although it's been a couple years since we've been back to a game, we still love it. We know all the songs, and none of us went there after my father, but as a kid, I went and watched Woody Hayes coach,
Yep.
Archie Griffin and all those guys in the day. So I have great memories of that.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
now, as I mentioned, I guess in the other conversation you and Breck and I were having, you mentioned Woody Hayes. That's going way back, and I guess that stem cell work and your biohacking really works for you because I wouldn't have guessed that you were. I would have thought that Woody Hayes would have been way after your time, Dr. Jeff.
Oh no, no, I remember Woody Hayes very well.
So you talked a lot about the Ohio State, but did you play any sports growing up yourself?
Yeah, we played a little soccer. It was new in Ohio back then. It was just starting out. And then I did some wrestling, not because I was super athletic, but because I realized, hey, I need to do something athletic, and I wasn't super inclined. Did a little track and field, but uh, I I became a runner on my own, mostly in med school. First year of med school, you're studying constantly, and the only relief I got was my daily run. In fact, because of that run, I met President Bush Sr.
Hmm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I was going to school in Washington, D.C., and I lived on 17th Street and in Q Street in a historic building called the Cairo Building. And my run would be to go down 16th or 17th Street right to the White House, because that's 1600 Pennsylvania. I'd go past the White House to the Washington Monument, hang a left, go all the way to the Capitol, down the mall and back. And on some days I'd go past the Washington all the way back to the Lincoln and back, and then right up by the White House. And one summer's eve, I was passing on my way back to the White House, and there was a little crowd at the back of the White House fence just around dusk.
Mhm.
And after dinner one night, Mr. Bush and his wife, and if you remember Millie and the puppies,
Yeah.
and they were walking by the back fence with another couple and Secret Service, and President Bush was wearing his Texas Rangers baseball hat and a jacket, and came over to the fence and greeted a group. There must have been 20 or 30 of us, and went along, and we met everyone. They said hello, chatted for a minute. They were so gracious and kind and friendly, and they
Yep.
probably won't do that anymore.
No, no, we got quite an experience there, and great.
Yeah.
I always liked them. Now you kind of took your sports, you got into running through it, but now you had some other activities. I understand when you were a kid, you had a musical inclination, did you not?
Yeah, well, I was always somewhat musical. I wanted to play the drums, and the bargain I struck with my mom was if I took the piano lessons, I could play the drums. So I trudged through piano for years so I could play the drums, and played in the college marching band and all that. And I still have a set of drums. I don't use them as much as I like, but it's fun.
All right, beautiful. So
Awesome.
let's move forward now into your work, and so really like to understand, what do you consider the essence of your work, and what do you get out of it?
Well, um, it's not just something you say when you're applying to med school, but I really, really want to advance and help people in their health journey and make the world a better place, one person at a time. Maybe sometimes more than one person at a time, like when I'm on a platform like this. But I'm wired that way, and whatever ego-driven piece there is there's nothing better when you help someone by giving them some advice or giving them treatment, and they come back and they are better and they're grateful. And like that I'm wired to benefit from that internally, psychologically, and it's even better when they've seen 20 other doctors and tried everything else and nothing's worked. And then you're the one who has the idea, the light bulb goes off, and you help that person. So thinking outside the box, thinking differently, going, being a disruptor and going against the grain, it has always been in part something I've been open to.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Did you always know you wanted to be a doctor?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was something I, came out of the crib with, and has stood with me. Going to medical school was a stepping stone. Like, you have to get through it, but I already knew what I wanted to do. It was set. Just had to pass through that door.
Okay, great. And I think you kind of already, I want to drive this home a little bit because I think you kind of already answered this, but I think it's always good. People face a lot of challenges, have some challenging days. So in your challenging days, what motivates you to keep going in this work?
Well, we beat our heads up against, health insurance and crazy obstacles like that. And I've been, in any deal you make, you're buying a used car or whatever you're doing, you have to be able to walk away. You have to be able to say no. And I said no to that years earlier. And I think I was ahead of the group because so many doctors now are turning down insurances and things because insurance isn't insurance. They should not be able to use that word. Health insurance is basically a profitable denial scam. And I have been just want to be a champion of what patients' needs and patients' rights are. And patients, they pin the patient against the doctor. You guys fight it out. When, the patient bought a product and then they're upset with the doctor because they can't use it or we can't get approval, so we need to reform that system so significantly because it's a problem. So what keeps me going? I don't know, just the same drive to want to help people and want to think outside the box and share that with them and have them also not take no for an answer when they've bought something and need to get justice for that product they bought.
Now, this is the teaser for the full episode of the podcast we did with you, but give us a little insight on your dream project right now.
I'm very, very close to being able to deliver something called natural killer derived exosomes. These are small particles from a very specific small component of your immune system called natural killer cells, a type of T cell or white cell in your immune system, whose job is to selectively identify and remove by cell death accidental cancer cells, senescent zombie cells, things that take up resources and can hurt you and make you older. So we're very close to that. These were hard to obtain and come up with, but the research on use of these NK exosomes, it has been shown in various models to help treat both circulating type of cancers like blood-borne cancers, as well as injected into solid tumors, kill those tumors. So this can be a wonderful adjunct or even separate treatment that we will try for patients with different types of cancers. And this is natural and it's not shown to have any side effects at this point. No chemo, no radiation is a possibility. Wow. I mean, this is a game changer, and we want to advance forth, something as horrible as cancer, which, treatment of cancer in all its different forms. I mean, cancer is a diverse, it's many diagnoses. It's not just one. We use that word, but we're going to have these in our hands very soon. We'll be the first clinic, as far as I know, in the U.S. to have the actual NK exosomes. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Wow, that is absolutely amazing.
I try to applaud that work. I'm really looking forward to you bringing that to fruition. So Breck, there's always some things you like to dig into with people. So wrap it up here with Dr. Jeff for us.
Yeah, Dr. Jeff, this is rapid fire. So just first thing comes to your mind. Okay, are you more of a early bird or a night owl?
I'm an early bird for sure. Easy one.
Okay, mountains or beach?
Each, 100%.
Okay. Coffee, tea, or something else?
Coffee, sometimes tea, sometimes something else.
Perfect. I love it. It's been great to get to know you a little better, and we encourage everyone to listen to the full episode with Dr. Jeffrey Gross.